It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 30 deadline stream. FPL is finally back. That's the last international break of the season now. It is all systems go. I think every single weekend there's a deadline right up until the end of the season. We've obviously got a deadline midweek this week as well on Tuesday. I think that's the only midweek deadline. Let me just double check here. Tuesday, Saturday, 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 Sunday. So yeah, all weekends after Game Week 31, but no more breaks. So that is good. And I'm probably rolling. I'm probably rolling the transfer. I spoke about this all week. You know, I'd love Salah, etc. But I just don't think it's worth me making a transfer. So 2-week break after a terrible free hit, and I'm rolling my transfer. So bring on Game Week 31 for me. Not the case for everyone, of course. My Saturdays are complete again. Boom. Only for... So I tweeted this yesterday. As of... Well, sorry. In 7 days' time, I guess 7 days and like 2 hours, we'll have 3 more deadlines locked in. Game weeks 30, 31 and 32. And then obviously there's only 6 left. So 6 more weekends and then we are done. Is it done to wildcard now? Of course not. If you need a wildcard, you need a wildcard, right? Is Eze a good pick? I think he's okay, but I'd rather buy him closer to Game Week 34 because in 32 and 33, the fixtures aren't great. I think it's City and Liverpool or Liverpool and City. My bench on free hit scored more than the 11 other starters. Did mine? 3, 8. No, it got close though. My bench. It would have only been like 3 or 4 points off probably. And for us outside the UK from next week, it will start 1 hour earlier. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Good thing probably. I forget the clocks are going forward soon, aren't they? Hopefully it's not dark in the morning then. Dog hates it in the winter when it's dark. She just won't walk. Is Ake a good pick in Solanke or Darwin on wildcard? I think I'd go Solanke. No, I'd go Darwin, I think, either way. Harden looks creepy. That he does. Oh, Ticker says, welcome to the member stream. Oh, I didn't update it. I'm an idiot. Let me just quickly update it now. I'm going to change it to subscribe. With a smiley face. Should I start Trippier or Gabriel? Ooh, I think I'd start Trippier. Obviously, there's no guarantee he starts because Eddie Howe said, you know, he could be back, but I think he'll probably play if he's available. So I would probably go for it. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough upside with Gabriel to kind of go for the safer pick, I guess. Can we have a bit today on FPL Challenge? I guess we can talk about it. I'm not saying this is an FPL only stream and therefore we cannot talk about FPL Challenge, but I'm not sure. Like, if you've got questions, I'll happily answer them. I mean, I guess it's the same as, you know, who's the best 1 week punt, right? I mean, this is my FPL Challenge team as it stands. I'm going to be honest, I've not put a massive amount of thought into it, but because I'm kind of torn on it, right? In some ways, I quite like it because it's 1 week only, and because there's no rank, because there's no overall points for the season, I can just not care about having players like Haaland, etc. Now, it's easy to do that this week because he's got Arsenal at home, right? But at the same time, because there's no season-long leagues and stuff like that, I'm just not going to put as much thought into it, I guess. So I guess that's the whole point of it. I'm a couple of things with it. First of all, The UI, I think, is terrible. I just don't think it looks very good. Like, why are the prices there? Why are there boxes around the players? Like, this UI looks much cleaner. What was the other thing I was going to say? I cannot be bothered messing around with the sub hack that everyone's going on about, where you can just put injured players into your team, and if the subs do well, you let them auto sub in, and if they don't do well, you transfer out the injured player. I can't be bothered to get into that at all. I'm just going to play it normally, how it's intended to play. I'm not against people doing that, by the way. I'm not like, oh, you should stick by the rules, because if you can do it, you can do it. I just can't be bothered with it. Basically, I did it for the Euros or the World Cup when they're that terrible format. I don't know if Salah is fast and if it will fit. Like, he plays every year, and every year Salah's very good, so I wouldn't worry too much. I think Son's a good Son is a good captain this week. We should say that. I think if I had Salah and Son, I would captain Salah. But I'm going to go for Son because I haven't got Salah. I think, look, I've seen a lot of discussion about Salah versus Son. Like, underlying stats wise, Brighton defense isn't actually that bad, which you probably wouldn't believe, and I agree. Right? I don't see Brighton as a good defence, but top 5 for expected goals conceded, not bad. But Liverpool attack is so good. Salah's brilliant. But then Luton have got so many injuries, and Spurs are very good in attack, at home especially. But Son's been away on international break. You know, will Richarlison play through the middle? How many minutes will Son be on the left? Like, I don't know. It's quite open. If I had Salah, I'm pretty sure I would captain him. And the main reason I would do it, apart from the fact he's just great, is I think he'll be somewhat of a differential. Like, he's not going to be a 10, 20% owned captain, but I think he'll be slightly lower owned than Son at least. Because Salah's had 750,000 transfers in this week, but Son's had like 300k. And obviously, Son already had more owners to start with because he played in 29, etc. The only weird thing is, Salah's had, even when Salah wasn't playing and was injured, he was still getting like 100, 200k transfers in. So maybe his ownership is actually quite high. I don't know. After Dunk's performance for England, it makes me a bit worried for Brighton. I wouldn't be so worried. It wasn't great though. I think I've consumed some England content this week, like James Alcott talking about it. I saw who else is it? I can't remember who else talked about it. I don't know. Anyway, talking about players that have played themselves out of the England team, and I think Gallagher and Lewis Dunk probably wish they could go back and not be in. I think their stock would have gone up had they not played. I think they've taken it down. I literally just love to sit in a pub with you and talk football. I don't know. I'm pretty boring, to be honest. I'm very quiet-ish. Anyway, maybe I'll start talking more football in general soon. Maybe we'll revive the other channel. Maybe there's plans for that already. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know who would know that. Thoughts on free transfer Gordon to Palmer? Yeah, I think it's a reasonable use of a free transfer. Palmer's very good. I'd rather have Palmer than Gordon, put it that way. But I'd be tempted to roll. I don't know, would I? Would I roll? Because I think Gordon's good this week. I'd probably just get Palmer and be done with it. I feel like you want Palmer from now pretty much till the end of the season. Okay, Arsenal weighing 34 is not great, but yeah, overall, should be good. Is there any fantasy leagues for the Euros? There will be. There will be a game that comes out for the Euros, and there will be leagues to join. Yeah, I'll have a league. I don't know whether I will do a huge amount of content on it this year. We'll see. I think the World Cup was just a bit of a mess, the way they did it. Either way, if they've got Southgate's loyalty, they're not going anywhere. Well, that's not true, is it? I mean, Phillips literally wasn't in the squad. Henderson didn't play at all. Quick wildcard 30 draft if it's your last chip. I did a wildcard video the other day if you want to check that out. I don't think there's any point in me putting a draft together because I'm just going to be thinking about it on the fly. I don't think it's going to be that helpful. I think if you really want my thoughts on a wildcard, I'd go and check the video. Mackey's breakfast, very nice. If you can't afford Bruno and Foden to Salah in a double game week neighbour, no. Bruno and Foden to Salah and Sarabia, I'm 0.1 million off. It's a killer because I would probably do it and just get Salah in. But I think rolling is okay, honestly. Budget issues: Mateta and Saka or Darwin and Gordon on wildcard. I'd probably from next week. I'd probably. I mean, presumably Are you gonna bench Mateta? If you have to play Mateta every week, I'd rather go Darwin and Gordon. I think. Not that I'd like to drop Saka. Good morning, AZ. You might think it's a funny question, but play Saka or Bowen? I don't think it's a funny question at all, and I would probably play Bowen, I think, if you got the balls for it. Because it's not, even with Man City away, it's not nice benching Saka, I don't think, but it is tough fixture. I think I'd play Bowen. He's got an away game as well, though, hasn't he? But Newcastle's better. Better fixture. Play Bradley or Zabani. Bradley all day long for me. Doughty to Gusto for a -4 to bench Gabriel. I don't think so. I think Gusto's very good. Like, who knows if we'll even see Reece James and when it might be. But could Gusto score 4 points? Sorry, could he score 4 or more over Gabriel this week? I think it is possible, right? Clean sheet against Burnley, maybe a bonus point on top, maybe an assist, goal, whatever. Gabriel concedes no attack and return. Like, I think it is possible Gusto outscores Gabriel for a hit. But I still don't think I would do it. Just in case. Just in case Burnley scored. Just in case Gabriel scores a header. Similarly, cannot bother with FPL Challenge, but is there also a captaincy exploit? I don't know. I'm not. Honestly, I'm just playing the game normally. I'm just picking a team of 15. I've got my 11. Like, if I see that someone's not in the squad, then I'll transfer them out. I'm kind of up for doing that, but I'm not going to be heavily tracking it through the weekend, I don't think. Start Saka or Garnacho. I think I would start Garnacho and start Neto or Edison. Neto, I think. How different is your wildcard 30 draft with free hit 34 but no bench boost? I don't have a wildcard draft, to be honest with you. You are live earlier than usual today. I think I was alive 2 hours before the deadline a couple of weeks ago as well. Just up earlier, you know. I think sometimes there's also more interesting weeks to be live earlier, like on a wildcard week, free hit week, etc., etc. Will you get Saka or Foden on your wildcard 30 free hit 34? Probably Saka, I think. And I understand why the question's being asked, because obviously Foden's got the double later on. If you're free hitting 34, you don't necessarily need Saka, but I still think Saka's a better option overall. I think Saka's going to get you enough points between... Could Saka outscore Foden between now and 33 by more than 4 points? I think yes. I still think Saka is the better option. So I would probably go for Saka. -8 for Salah to go... Or sorry, -8 for Salah or go for the wild card and get all the other players in from now. I mean, if you're just going to wild card next week, then I would just wild card now and save the -8. No point in taking a -8 and then wild carding, right? Members only live streams are usually 5 p.m. on a Friday, but obviously it depends when the deadline is. Like this week, they'll probably be 5 p.m. on Monday because the deadline is Tuesday. Do I know any reliable Newcastle sources for early team leaks? Not really. None that I would see and say I'm 100% confident. Aurier, member for 18 months. Thank you very much. Play Luis Diaz, Saka or Foden. I mean, it's got to be Luis Diaz, isn't it? Fixture. Felt much more relaxing selecting the challenge team than figuring out this week at least. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I do think it's good in general, right? Like, I can just put this team together in like 2 seconds. Now, it's, maybe 5 minutes I thought I've put into this team. So in that regard, I like it. I mean, I probably need to swap Chilwell here. Because Chilwell's probably could be out. So I probably should take Chilwell out, but I'm not gonna like massively worry about it. But that's what it's intended for, right? That it shouldn't be this massive thing you need to think about. It's supposed to be a bit more casual. I have a similar team to you. Thoughts on Saliba to Gusto to help fund Salah Darwin means you can play Gusto this week. Yeah, but then you lose. But I'm dead end in 34, so then I lose a double game week. Plus Arsenal got Luton at home next week. And also, I can just take a -4 without having to sell Saliba next week. Like, basically, Saliba to Gusto doesn't really help me that much, to be honest. Like, I guess if I just double check the sums here, if I was to do Saliba, because bearing in mind I'm looking at making 3 transfers next week, so I could make 1 transfer this week and 2 next week, right? It'd still be the same amount of hits. And then I did Fernandes to Salah. I'd be 2.2 million off. So I still wouldn't be able to do Watkins to Darwin, I'd be short. So I don't think it really helps that much. I do think Gusto's great this week, but I've said this for a long time now. I knew my Game Week 30 defense wouldn't be as good as other people's. I'm okay with that. I've got to accept it and just hope that the damage is minimal, and then hope that longer term the points are higher. De Bruyne to Son from... by the way, if doing like Saliba to Gusto lets you get Salah in one move maybe instead of two or something like that, maybe it's worth it. But if you're dead ending 34, I can't really see a good reason to get rid of Saliba. De Bruyne to Son for a -4. For captaincy, yeah, I'd probably do it. Wildcard 35, no free hit, already have Salah. I quite like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure De Bruyne will play such a big match. So I don't think it's a guarantee Son outscores him, but I'd be tempted by it, especially if you want to captain Son over Salah. I still don't have Son, probably won't get him now until wildcard 35. I did Foden to Salah for free this week. Did I do the right thing? I would rather have Salah than Son up until wildcard 35, put it that way. Do Luton score against Spurs? It seems likely. I think there's an okay chance. But I mean, Spurs are at home at least, and Luton do have a bunch of injuries. But I never really see Spurs getting a clean sheet, to be honest. Will you keep us updated on your FPL challenge team? I mean, I'll briefly show it on Deadline Stream, and I'll tweet it out later. But honestly, I really don't think you need to be kept updated. Like, it's 1 week. Just take some punts. Who cares? You're not going to find out what your rank is at the end of the season. Like, it really doesn't matter. I'm not going to be tweeting. Well, I might do, but I'm not necessarily planning to tweet every time I make a slight change with it or something like that. That's for sure. Is it stupidity to not have Haaland? No, I don't think so. How confident are you for starts for Bradley next to and Lascelles rest of the season? I think while Botman's out, Lascelles starts every game. I mean, look, if it gets to a situation where the league is done for Newcastle, they can't get European spots or whatever they're trying to go for, maybe Lascelles gets benched, but I just don't see it. I talked about this on video yesterday. People keep mentioning Dan Burn can play centre-back, and he can, right? He's done it twice this season, but that's it, twice. And every time, when Botman was out before, Lascelles just started every game he was fit for. So I think Lascelles is fine as long as he stays fit. With Bradley, I don't think it's a guarantee he starts twice, but I think there's a good chance, especially with Robertson being a bit of a doubt. Because I just don't see... Like, they're going for the league. I just don't see Tsimikas left back, Gomez right back. So I think it's one of Tsimikas or Gomez left back, and then Bradley plays right back. He did the only thing that slightly puts me off is the fact that he didn't start the FA Cup game against Man United, because I think he started pretty much every other game outside of that. I think the chances are good. I think if you can afford the transfer on Bradley, or you're on wildcard and you want to take a couple of weeks punt, I quite like it, to be honest. There's potentially big upside there, right? Especially with Sheffield United at home. If I was wildcarding, what would my defence be? I'm trying to think back to the video I did earlier this week. Like Gusto, Gabriel, Udogi, or Porro if you've got a lot of money, plus two others. I'd maybe be tempted by Bradley now as a short-term punt. I think a lot of people on wildcard probably won't have a huge amount of transfers to use over the next few weeks. So booking one in for Bradley might not be the end of the world. I wouldn't want to book in I wouldn't want to have, okay, this is my wildcard in 30, this is my transfer in 31, 32, 33. I think that's, even with free hit 34, that's risking it a little bit. But one or two transfers booked in, probably okay. Do you think the auto sub exploit will work for challenge? I honestly don't know. I don't even know what it really is. Is that where you put in injured players and then you just hope the players come on? I think the challenge is perfect to talk about on Deadline Stream. Yeah, if people want to ask questions, I'm not saying I won't answer them. I'm just saying that I haven't put a huge amount of thought into it. Why Bradley, not Kelleher? Well, you can go for Kelleher. Do you need to fill a defender spot, or do you need to fill a goalkeeper spot? With so many players in your squad due to drop tonight, will you move early? Nah. Who's due to drop anyway? Let me have a look here. I mean, Watkins is going down, right? I think. That will take off 0.1 million. Okay, if I bring this up here, so this is, can I just do this? So hang on, let me just. So this is the price changes on Hub. So Gusto could go up in price tonight. Didn't he just go up recently? Meneers, fair enough. So who's going? I mean, Van Dijk I will want eventually, but whatever. I can't get him now. Son's apparently going up. Nice. Udogi as well. So Saka's going down. I'm not selling him anyway. Who else? Saliba's going down, but I'm not selling him anyway. Gabriel's possibly going down. I'm not selling him anyway. So Watkins and Saka going down. I mean, Watkins... I'm going to lose 0.1 million. I lost 0.1 million from Salah last night. So potentially by tomorrow, I'll have lost 0.2 million on the transfers that I'm going to make. But probably not going to move early, no. I might move on Sunday night. But I want to at least see the game. Like, the thing is, I've got less now. I've got 1 million spare for my moves. So losing another 0.1 million is really not the end of the world. I'd rather get the information. And the thing is, the information could be key. What if tomorrow Salah gets an injury? Right? That massively changes the transfers I make. If Darwin gets a yellow card against Brighton, then he's only one away from a suspension. That might put me off buying him this early. I might leave it until closer to game week 34. So there is... As much as I'm pretty sure I'm going to do Fernandes, Foden, and Watkins to Salah, Sarabia, and Darwin, it could change. So I just don't see the point in moving early for 0.1 million. Not tonight. Planning to get Solanke and Darwin over 30 and 31. Who to get in first and who to get in 31? I would definitely buy Solanke first, I think. Oh, Solanke could drop. That's a bit annoying, but you're going to want him till 34 anyway, right? So I would get Solanke first. Just because of the yellow card situation with Darwin. Can I explain Foden over Saka? Yeah, Saka's on penalties. That's it. I meant is a budget issue. Kelleher opens more money for another defender. Yeah, I'm not... Kelleher's a good option. I just think Bradley's good too. I'm not really... Like, if you think Kelleher works better for your team, then get Kelleher. I mean... Potentially, he's going to be in the team longer. We just don't have a proper time frame for Trent. I mean, Trent apparently is going to be trying to be back for game week 33. Alisson, we just don't know. Would you bring in Zabani on wildcard? No chance. If doubts emerge, read Darwin. What will you do in 31? Not buy him. To be honest with you. I need to make a third move, though, to make the... I mean, I could do Fernandes and Son to Salah and Sarabia. I just wouldn't do it this week. So, Fernandes, Son to Sarabia, Salah. I could do Fernandes, Foden, Sarabia and Salah plus another move. I don't know what it would be. Zabani to Gusto. I don't know. I'll worry about it next week, I guess. I try not to think too much. I mean, I do think a lot about what my future transfers will be because it'll obviously play a part in what I do now. But right now, there's not really anything that I can tell you will change my mind. If that makes sense. So what will I do if there's doubts about Darwin for game week 31? I'll just not buy him and do a different move. What that move is right now, I don't know. Maybe we'll get some kind of information this week. Maybe someone will get injured. Like all these things could happen. Happy Easter. I hope you have 15 Guinness and scream I love FPL down the mic at karaoke. There's no chance I'll be drinking today. Did have a couple of Guinness a few weeks ago though. We should take a -4 Foden to Salah. I would if I could afford it, yeah? Yep. Should I get Palmer for Bowen for a hit or just play Bowen? I knew a wild card in 31. Definitely just play Bowen, in my opinion. Will you triple up on Chelsea 36-37? Possibly, yeah. Jackson, Gusto, Palmer, maybe? Petrovic, Gusto, Palmer. Palmer, Jackson, Petrovic. Probably 3 of those 4 players. But again, like I'm not... there's no point in me worrying it, right? Because I've got a wild card, I guess. Would you sell? But like, it's probably going to be 3 of those 4. Would you sell Son to get Salah without a hit? Probably not. Captain Son or Salah? I go Salah. Rami, member for 30 months. Thank you very much. I'm on wild card. Who do you think should be my 5th midfielder? Richarlison, Gordon, or Garnacho, and start him instead of Saka? Yeah, whichever of those you go for, I'd probably start them over Saka. I probably wouldn't go for Richarlison because I think there are doubts about his starts this week. enough to not buy him, and he blanks in 34. I mean, it's a tricky one because if we just think Richarlison's a doubt this week, but he starts every other game he's fit for, then he's still a good pick in general. So I guess if you're free hit 34, maybe you can still go for him. I think if money's no issue, maybe I'd go Gordon, but I really like Garnacho. Keeps your budget options open for everyone else, and later on he's got a double. Richarlison or McAllister on Wild. I mean, I don't really like McAllister as a pick, to be honest, so Richarlison. If it's between those two only. Doughty to Gusto for a -4. No, probably not. -4 for Foden to Salah and Ake to Gusto or Bowen to Son. Yes. I'd probably keep... Ake might be okay next few weeks if Walker and Stones are out for a while. So Bowen to Son sounds pretty good to me. Don't necessarily need 3 Liverpool for 31. No, but I definitely want 3. Don't want to sell Watkins, but maybe have to. I'm honestly, I'm very calm about having to sell Watkins. I wouldn't be so happy about having to do it this week. If I was on wildcard, I wouldn't care because it's a long-term move. If I was just selling him this week, like using a transfer, then okay, maybe I wouldn't like it. But from next week, I feel perfectly okay with selling Watkins. Like, he's been great, of course, but you know, there's other points on offer too. Hopefully, that's the plan. Anyway, I'll be sat here this time next week after game week 31 when Watkins has scored a brace past City, saying, "Why the hell do we sell him?" Which 3 Liverpool? I will be going for Bradley, Salah, and Darwin, but my plan is to eventually sell Bradley to Van Dijk. Like if I was on wildcard and I could pick 3 Liverpool right now, it'd be Darwin, Salah, and Van Dijk. Thoughts on Rice as a nailed enabler on set pieces? I like him in general, but there's just like... It's one of those situations where Rice will probably do really well for his price compared to other players at the same price or in and around that price range. But like, you just don't want to sacrifice an Arsenal spot, do you? Especially when they double in 34. Like, them and Liverpool should be your clear priorities for game week 34. Maybe if you're free hit 34 and you need an enabler, then yeah, you could look at Rice, but probably not. Do you like him though? I don't think he's a terrible option. When will I use my wild card? Almost certainly game week 35, possibly 36, but probably 35. Really thinking of selling Haaland? Go for it. Diaz and Watkins to Salah and Semenyo for a -4, or keep Diaz and move Foden on. Can also delay the move for a week, but have FOMO on Salah. Look, Luis Diaz, I probably wouldn't sell him. I'd sell Foden. I'd possibly do that, yeah, -4. But... do you know, I actually wouldn't. I don't think I would do that, actually. I just wouldn't want to sell Watkins for -4 before Wolves. Just, like, if you've got Son, you can just captain him, right? So I don't know if I would do that. I mean, I can sell Watkins this week and get Salah for a -4. But I'm not doing it. Salah and Darwin in for a -4 this week if you can. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, let me rephrase what I just said, actually. Although I've said that I wouldn't do Watkins out for a -4, if I had more money in the bank and I could do Watkins to Darwin and Fernandes to Salah for a -4, I would maybe do that. I'd at least be a little bit more sure about doing it than just buying like Meniz or someone like that. I think Foden scores 2 goals, don't bench him. Yeah, he might do. He might do. Watkins to Isak or Watkins to Darwin on wildcard? I think Darwin for me. I think whether or not you're free hit or not, to be honest. And we're not bringing in the Salah this week. I'm not, no. But like, it's where I know what's going to happen, right? Salah's going to score, and all the comments on the deadline show, can't believe you didn't have Salah. Why wouldn't you have him? Like, why are content creators not? Like, it's always why are content creators. It was always like we always get grouped in together. Although I'm sure people are buying Salah this week. Salah is great. If I had good moves to get Salah, I would be buying him this week, and I probably would be captaining him as well. But I don't have a good way. I don't have a way to get him that I like. Like, if we suddenly got news that Saka was actually a doubt and not just a doubt, then I would maybe sell Saka and Fernandes. In fact, I would. If Saka was a doubt for this week, then I'd probably sell Saka and Fernandes to Sarabia and Salah and just play Foden. Or even just play Sarabia. but I just don't have a way to do it that I like. So I'm just not getting him. And it's not because I think he's bad, because I think he's great, right? What about Salah, Darwin, Diaz for 3 Liverpool? Yeah, you could go that way. I just think midfield is kind of stacked right now. But if you've got the money for it, go for it. Do I intend to sell Salah and Saka when you wildcard? I mean, yes, if I want 15 double game weekers, but it doesn't mean I'm locked into it. We might get to 35, and it might not make sense to have 15 double game week players, but that is currently my intention, yes, and it sounds like it could be painful. Any difference in wildcard 30 versus 31? No pool defence in your draft because of budget. Well, I did have Liverpool. I did have Liverpool depending on chip situation, right? I'd probably go Doggy over Porro. I don't think Porro is worth the extra money now. Like, he could pay back that money, but I think for most people it would make more sense to have that money spread in other positions. But if you've got the money for Liverpool defence, go for it. Any difference in wildcard 30 versus 31? I've only looked at 31 very briefly, but I doubt there's a huge amount of difference, really. Is it total madness to captain Haaland? No, it's Haaland, right? But sorry, got it. Quintin Fortune or Kieran Richardson? What? Quintin Fortune. It's not madness to captain Salah. Thanks for 7 months, by the way. But sorry, it's not madness to captain Haaland, but Arsenal at home. I think it's a good week to go against him. That's all. Thoughts on Menez, although everyone's going against him, so maybe you should go against everyone else and captain Haaland. Thoughts on Menez and Diaz over Darwin and Eze? I'd rather have Darwin and Eze. Wildcard bench boost 34, probably doing Menez to Semenyo. I don't really see the point in lining up a transfer for someone like Menez. Like, Menez has been great, and maybe he's going to carry it on, but I think he's being a little bit overhyped as a pick, personally. Like, not in terms of, like, I think he's going to stop scoring, but I just think for Game Week 34 double, the way people's chips are set out, I just don't think Menez is the one. So I'd rather have Darwin and Eze. And if you're just going to transfer to Semenyo later, I'd probably rather just start with Semenyo. The only reason I go for Menez is if you plan to play him the next couple of weeks. If you don't, I just don't see the point in having him. Captain Darwin or Solanke? If you have to captain one of those two, I'd probably captain Darwin. Wildcarding now, free hit 34, bench boost 37. It's hard to look ahead for 15 bench boosters. Generally not sure there's 15 doublers I want. Yeah, I mean, things could change between now and then, but off the top of my head, Haaland, Edison, Foden. Garnacho +1. Okay, so hang on, let me do the obvious ones first. So Edison, Foden, Haaland, Maddison, Son, a defender from Spurs. Palmer, Jackson, if the yellow card situation's done, plus Gusto or Petrovic, that's 9. 3 from Man United for sure, that's 12. Trippier's 13. 2 more spots? I think 15 double game weeks has definitely happened. I mean, for what, like, people that wild card now probably won't go for 15 double game weekers, but obviously you're hoping to get more points now. But if I've got the opportunity, I'm going to do it. I've never had a bench boost full of double game week players. Never done it. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. And I probably will. I probably will take the risk. But obviously, you know, what Game Week 35 is it the end of April? Let's have a look here. Yeah, it's 27th of April. So Game Week 35 is 28 days away. 4 weeks, if you didn't know. Things could change, right? The league could be over at that point. Maybe Liverpool and City have lost every game up until then, and Arsenal have already won it. Then it completely changes, right? So we'll see. But I think there's absolutely 15 doublers that I might go for. Yeah, Gordon and Isak, yeah. Trippier, Cher, Pope might be back by them. Anana, Garnacho, Fernandes, Rashford, Hoyland. Obviously, you can't have all of them. You can in FPL Challenge, though. I deduce, that wildcard 30-31 were basically the same, but wildcarding gives you more expected points and extra transfer. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I think I said that on the wildcard video, that I'd probably go in 30 if it was close. Harder to sell Salah before 38 as opposed to wildcard in 35. Yeah, exactly. And look, there's going to be this whole tedious discussion when we get to 35 similar to free hit 29, right? And those of us that wildcard 35 that love the double game weeks will probably go for 15 doublers. And you know what's coming in 37 when it doesn't work out. Well, you should never have done this. It was always going to be terrible. Like, I can see it already. But there will be differences between whether you wildcard now or later. That's always going to be the way. Like, when you wildcard, you always have, or at least you always hope to have an initial boost. And then later on, that boost is going to drop off. How else can it happen? It's like the opposite for wildcard 35. I'm going to take a bit of a hit now, probably, in theory anyway. But hopefully from 35 onwards, it'll be a little bit better. So overall, it'll probably be quite similar. But I don't think you will need 15 doublers. But I think people that wildcard will definitely look at it. And I think the fixtures around it help, right? It's not like Newcastle and Man United have got City away, Arsenal away, then a double. They've got like Burnley, Sheffield United, etc. So it just makes a bit more sense to do it. And of course, you've also got the probable extra double for Chelsea and Spurs. So most people are going to want 6 players from those 2 teams alone. And that's without thinking about Man United, Newcastle, Man City, etc. So I think you can get quite close to 15 doublers. But look, there's a decision for 4 weeks' time. I might have changed my mind by that point. I think game week 38 will be an interesting swing because Liverpool and Arsenal got good fixtures that week, and a lot of people that wildcard 35 might be in trouble. My only concern with wildcard in 35 is you don't get many game weeks to make the most of it. But again, right, this is a similar conversation to the free hit. What the wildcard is enabling you to do is not just from 35 onwards. It's also allowing me to dead end into 34 and have 11 double game week players that week. Now, obviously, I know you can wildcard now and free hit in 34 and have 11 doublers, then hopefully get close to 15 doublers in 37. But that's because you got those 2 chips left. The rest of us don't. So if you only got your wildcard, yes, you're only getting 35 to 38 after playing it, but you're also getting to dead end 34. Like, that's part of the advantage to using it then. So it's more than just those extra 4 game weeks later on. But as always, it's team dependent. There's pros and cons to each strategy. You'll lose in certain weeks, you'll gain in others. That's always going to be the way. Anyway, I'm probably going to go 15 doublers, but we'll see. I'm on wildcard. Got Son, Salah, Palmer, Meneers, Haaland, and Darwin. I have Saka and Foden. Which one would you play, and would you keep both? I don't know if I would have Saka and Foden. But I think it's fine if you want to, and I'd play Saka. That's what I've got. Bench one of 5. Like, I think with Saka and Foden, like, I think either if you're free hit 34, I still go for Saka. I think I still go for Saka for that Luton game, and then just transfer him out closer to the game week 34. And if you're not free hit 34, then I'd want Saka for the double. Bench one: Foden, Douglas Luiz, or Palmer. Foden in that case. Play Garnacho or Saka this week. Garnacho, I think. Porro or Udogi on wildcard. I would go for Udogi for the saving alone, basically. There's quite a few hits to dead end into 34. Yeah, again, everyone's team is different. That might not be the best strategy for you. On wildcard 33, hit 34, bench boost 37. Have 10 doubles for 37. I can only afford Saka and Meneers or Havertz and Darwin. P.S. Actually wish I'd played free hit 29 as can't keep the wildcard for 35, which seems most optimal play. We'll see. It probably won't work out that as good as we think it might. Havertz, I guess if Havertz continues to start, Havertz and Darwin is probably better than Saka and Meneers, which wouldn't want to drop Saka. Lascelles a good move for Botman if I have to play him every week. I mean, Newcastle generally have pretty good fixtures to the end of the season. But do you really have to play Lascelles every week? I don't think you necessarily do, right? Any thoughts on Isak captain? He seems to be overlooked completely, or do you think that wildcarding him in is enough of a differential? I like Isak, and he's going to continue to start when he's fit and available. He did play 290 minutes during the international break, which is probably not great for him. He's an okay captain. The problem is, like, he could come off like 60, 65th minute. It's possible if they want to manage him. I don't know. I think he's fine if you want to captain him, but I don't think I would be doing it. I don't agree about the narrative that the FA Cup results help the no free hit teams. Much better with one massive double in 37 than it is now. Yeah, I don't think we need to go over free hit 29 anymore, honestly. I think we should just be done with it. Like, people keep wanting to ram home that it was a disaster in Game Week 29 as if we don't know. Like, it's just... It happened, right? FA Cup results, they helped some people, they probably didn't help others. Let's just make peace with it now. What are the branding plans when Trent is back? Sell him to Trent or Van Dijk in Game Week 33, probably. Would you have Kivior on wildcard? No. Nah, I don't think so. There's just too much risk there, I think. Like, he's obviously playing well in that back four for Arsenal, but when they start getting players back fit, his minutes just aren't secure enough for me. How close are you to playing Foden over Saka? I'm not really. I've kind of made the decision. I'm happy with it. It's really the penalty factor. If those two players, if Saka didn't have penalty, I mean, he'll probably get one now and give it away. But yeah, if Saka didn't have penalties, I'd probably play Foden. Like, that's how close I see it this week. Are Arsenal going to get a penalty away to Man City? Probably not, but you never know. Would you I would captain Salah over Son. Lots of people asking that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on the Saka Foden thing. Maybe I should just be going for the guy at home. I mean, Man City defense is great, right? Well, maybe not for FPL, but in general, right, it's pretty good. I don't know. I kind of decided that I was going to play Saka all week, so I just don't see any point in changing it now. I think it's fine if you want to play Foden. It's not one of those moves where I'd strongly argue against it. Out of interest, how am I funding Salah, Trent, Van Dijk? Well, I'm getting Sarabia in this week and selling Watkins, and then eventually I'll sell Son to get... I'll probably have to sell Son in 33 to get Liverpool defender, basically. So I'm going to lose Son for Newcastle away. Genuine... Cost delicious, come on. I'm also very close on Foden versus Saka. I'll probably flip-flop up until the deadline and still make the wrong choice. Yeah, I'm not really like that right now. I'm honestly, people keep, like, a few comments on videos. Oh, he's last minute. He's definitely going to bring Salah in. I don't see what's going to change my mind on any of my decisions this week. I mean, Saka's almost certainly going to start, right? I don't think there's really any concerns about that. He's probably going to get really good minutes as well. Plus the penalties. I'm not tempted to switch in the slightest. I'm not sure there's any... The only thing that someone could tell me to make me switch is that Saka's not starting. It's the only thing. I'm an Arsenal fan and want to start Saka over Haaland. Oof, don't know if I would do that. What's the optimal team you're going to be working towards having in Game Week 34? Well, I don't know if I can... I don't know if I can necessarily get the optimal team. Like, for example, I think on... I've said this already this week. On Free Hit 34... let me just get rid of this. Weirdo. On Free Hit 34, I'd maybe go for like double Arsenal attack instead of defence, but there's no point in me using transfers to fix that. So the team that I will be working towards is Neto in goal, Gabriel and Saliba in defence, with Van Dijk probably. I just don't know if I'm going to trust Trent's minutes enough. That's my back three. In midfield, Saka, Sarabia, Eze, and someone else. Saka, Sarabia, Eze. Who else is doubling that week? Who am I missing? Salah, obviously. and then Darwin, Solanke, and then maybe Haaland, but possibly Mateta or Cunha. Because the plans that I've got right now, when I get to game week 34, I'm going to have 10 double game week players. I'm going to have Zabani on the bench, if it all goes smoothly, and I'll have one spare transfer and Haaland in the 11. So I may well sell Haaland for Mateta or Cunha as a 1 week pump, but I'm not 100% convinced on that. And in some ways, I'd almost like an injury or something, or a suspension, that forces me to use the free transfer on someone else so that I have to keep Haaland, but we'll see. If Haaland's subbed off, Foden might be on bench. I mean, what are the chances that Foden's on the pitch longer than Haaland? I don't think it's that high, and I'm not sure Foden would be next up. But actually, do you know what? Maybe Rodri probably would take the penalty, I reckon, after Haaland. But you never know. You never know. I don't think... I'll be honest with you. If you want to play Foden, absolutely fine. I would not massively argue against it. But I probably wouldn't play him on the off chance he takes a penalty, on the off chance that Haaland's off the pitch. Like, surely Haaland's getting 90 minutes in this game. Is Saka Foden to Salah and what? Is Saka/Foden to Salah and Watkins Solanke to Muniz for a -4? I don't think so. If you've got Son, just captain him instead. Saka or Havertz on wildcard, definitely Saka for me. I know Havertz has done great, but Saka's still the one. Reguilon to Gusto 3, but Salah next week goes -8. Oof. Probably just... I think Gusto's really good. Like, what are Chelsea? They got Sheffield United away in 32, don't they? I don't know if Gusto's that much of a worry if you're not wildcarding. I probably wouldn't do it. Especially if your defence looks okay next week. Sell Haaland to get Watkins and Son. No. Definitely don't need Watkins on wildcard. Or keep and get Madison on wildcard. I'll find a way probably to get Son and Haaland, but yeah, I wouldn't sell Haaland to get Watkins, I don't think. Like Haaland and Madison or Watkins and Son, I'd probably go Haaland and Madison. Foden, Saka to Palmer for a hit. Nope. Starting Foden, don't mess with City, the Etihad. Good luck. Start Muniz or Gordon. Ooh. Do you know what? I think I'll go Muniz. Sheffield United away. Semenyo from -4 or play Douglas Luiz. Definitely just play Douglas Luiz. He's fine this week. Hey, look, I will never say never. I'm not saying, again, that Foden can't take a penalty for Man City, but I think it's clutching a little bit of just looking for excuses to play him. If you want to play him, just play him. Like, how many times have I been wrong this season? Like, pretty much every single week. Play Foden over Saka. Honestly, there's no issue with doing that. If you don't have Haaland this week but can afford him selling Watkins, what would you do? Just go without Haaland for one more week, I think. Is it worth selling Foden to Salah for a -4? Potentially, yeah. Depends who else you're selling. Yeah, on the play Saka or Foden. I mean, the answer's on the screen for me. We've discussed it quite a lot now. Like, what are people's reasons for playing Foden over Saka? Penalties, presume. Penalties. Oh my god, you got that stuck in my head now. That he's at home, right? For me, that's it. Like, that's the only question mark. It's the home. What do you put more stock in? The fact that Foden's at home or the fact that Saka's got penalties? I'm taking the penalties, I think. Yeah, okay, to be fair, Foden's also not flagged, but honestly, like, you know that Pikachu meme, the like shocked face Pikachu? That's going to be my face when Saka starts against Man City. Bench 2 of Ake, Gabriel, Saliba, Zabani, and Maguire. Harry Maguire. He went off for England. Did he go off or did he just not start? He's flagged, isn't he, at the moment? I don't know if he's going to start. I can't remember if there was any other... I can't remember what Ten Hag said. I don't even know if he said anything about him. He was talking about Martial and Martinez. I don't know... I didn't see anything about Maguire. Yeah, I don't think I would start him. Zabani, Gabriel, and Ake probably. Nick gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much, as always. This can also be the week that Odegaard takes the penalty. I just think, like, Saka's clearly first choice penalty taker for Man City, right? We can all agree on that, I think. Like, we can all know that Saka won't take every penalty, but I think we can all agree he's first choice. They get a penalty against Man City, your first choice penalty taker takes it. Surely you don't avoid that in such a big game. That would be strange, in my opinion. Man United need the fridge against Tony. Yeah, he might play, but the problem is if he doesn't, he could come on. So I'm not sure I would risk it. You still got Guinness. By the way, yes, you should probably go for an ISA. I'm sure it's good. Although it depends. Like ISAs, I think are good, right, for saving. But when you're on if you're scrolling TikTok or Instagram, it's just people that say, "Do you know what you should do to make money? Just buy a new house." And do you know what? When you've bought that house, just buy another house. They make it sound so simple. Andy benching Foden makes me think I should start Foden. Do you know what? Everyone said that in Game Week 28. And what happened? Can you remember what happened? Because I can. Wanted to captain Watkins this week, so is it better to bring in Salah than Son? Salah and Son, I think is so simple. It's Salah, right? Like, what reason is there to go for Son over Salah? Now, look, obviously, team dependent, right? Maybe if the money affects you next week, etc. But I think they're both pretty good this week. But then you definitely want Salah for Sheffield United at home. You definitely want him for the double. I just can't see a reason to go for Son over Salah, to be honest with you. Kirk has the Gusto for a -4. Only if you've got no other defender to play instead, I think. If you want to take a punt on Gusto, obviously no issues with that. But if you've got someone else you can play instead, I'd just bench Kirkes. Potential Fitness didn't play the full game versus Man United. No, I keep saying this, right? I feel like I'm the only one been talking about it. But Salah definitely wasn't fully fit in that FA Cup game. He would have stayed on. No question in my mind. So has a 2-week break given him enough time to be fully fit without any matches to get up to full fitness? Maybe not. I think he'll probably be fine. I think for the most part, there's not many defenders this week I would take a -4 for to not play Arsenal defenders. That's my broad overview thoughts on it. If you go for an attacking defender like Gusto, then yes, it could work. Like, if you're going to do the move next week anyway for the hit, then yes, I'd probably just bring it forward this week and get the good fixture. But generally, I think I'd rather just not take a -4 for defenders. But in certain circumstances, maybe it works. Like, if doing Kirkes to Gusto for a hit, because someone else has asked this now, enables you to do another move, then great. But I don't think the price difference is that massive, right? Pick 3, please. Gusto, Gabriel, Kivior, Richards, Doughty. To play. Gusto, Gabriel, and Richards. Okay. Who have Crystal Palace got? I'm just double checking now. I've got checking. I've got the correct player. Yeah, I'd play Richards, I think. Presumably that's Crystal Palace, right? Start Pau Torres or Zabani. Pau Torres for me. Chris Richards versus Nottingham Forest or Gabriel versus City. Chris Richards. Is it? Wait, hang on. Oh my god! Okay, it's Chris Richards. Jesus, I haven't talked about him enough to be confident that I've got the right person. Yeah, I would definitely go for the easier fixture. Bader, member for seven months. Thank you very much. Getting Gusto in today gives you 2 extra fixtures plus Burnley at home today. But Chelsea's extra fixtures aren't until way later, right? And you could maybe be able to make that move later for free. So, yeah, I get it. Like, Gusto's good. I'm not really trying to talk people out of it. I just wouldn't probably do it for a hit. That's all. He would definitely be on my wildcard team. And he'll probably be on my wildcard team in Game Week 35 if he's fit and Reece James is nowhere to be seen. Start Garnacho or Saka feels like a decision for a lot of wildcarders this week. I think I would go for Garnacho just because just for fixture purposes. Like, again, like I'm more than happy to play Saka this week. But if you're ever going to go against players like that, this is probably the week to do it, right? You want the FPL Challenge League code? I can find that here. Do you know what, actually, I'll just find it on the other page. I'm only in one league. That's my own league. I'll just put the auto link join FPL Challenge LT FPL League. I'm just going to spam it in the chat. Oh, I didn't. Oh, you're an idiot. Hang on. Well, I guess that's good enough. But I meant to do this. Oh, there we go. That's enough spam now in the chat. At some point, I'll put it in the description of all my videos as well. Big question is, should I do a video on it every week? Should I do it on this channel? That's something I'm still debating as well. Would be playing with 10 if I don't hit Kirkes out. Yeah, in that case, I would do Gusto for a hit, yeah. Why are you not wildcarding this week, though? What are you waiting for in 31? You save a -4 and you get 15 players. I think I'd go for Lascelles over Richards, I think. If you're saying Salah over Son is a no-brainer, then why not move Son to Salah for no hits this week? Because I don't want to sell Son. Neto or Dubravka? Dubravka, I think. I don't think there's a huge amount in that, though, given how bad Newcastle defence has been this year. Why is everyone copying each other and doing Gusto, Lascelles and Udogi? There are better options. Who's better? Are Saka and Gabriel confirmed? No, but I'm sure they'll probably be fine. I mean, there is part of me that thinks maybe I should just play Saliba to be absolutely safe, but I think they'll be fine. Van Dijk is better. Great. Great. You know, Son's better than Sarabia as well. You know what? Haaland's better than Solanke. But unfortunately, this isn't FPL Challenge. We don't have unlimited budget. FPL Challenge plays no part in normal FPL, so if you don't want to play it, you don't have to. What do I think about Pickford and Dean Henderson as a combination on wildcard? Both okay, doubling 34 on good single fixtures. I think if you're bench boosting 34, fine, but if not, I don't see why you go for two. You might as well get a goalkeeper that's going to double in 37, right? Yeah, I would definitely go for Van Dijk over Lascelles if you've got an extra 2.6 million lying around. Not even a slight consideration of Haaland captain? No, not really. Like and like, don't take it the wrong way. It's not like, again, it's not a situation where I think Haaland is bad, but I try and not. It probably doesn't come across like this when you watch my videos and hear me talk through like one move for 20 minutes, but I try and not overthink too many of my decisions. Like, Haaland's got a tough game, even though he's at home. Son's got a great game at home. That's enough for me. I don't need to think about it anymore. Like, there's no point in going round and round in circles. Yeah, but what if Haaland gets a brace? What if he scores a hat-trick against Arsenal? Of course, that can literally happen, but we're talking, what are the odds of something happening? What are the chances? And I'd say that's quite low. I think the chances of Spurs scoring, I think there's more chance of Spurs scoring goals against Luton than there is against, Man City against Arsenal, and that's it. I just don't try not to think about this too much. Next week I've got some slightly tougher decisions, like who to sell out of Son and Foden. Now, the obvious answer is probably Foden, but selling Son gives me an option to roll into 34, and so I might have to think about that a bit more, but captaincy this week, done for me. No. Sorry, gee whiz, I get that you need to wildcard. I'm just saying, why are you taking a -4 this week to wildcard in 31 rather than just wildcarding now? That's what didn't make sense to me. FPL Challenge, just another example of society becoming lazy. No real planning involved, only short-term gratification, which gives the youth of today no staying power. Do you know what? Right? I don't actually think that's necessarily incorrect, but it just reminded me of that the Simpsons meme, the old man shouting at clouds thing. I think FPL Challenge is fine for what it's worth. Like, I don't think they're going to get to a point where they're pushing that more than normal FPL. I mean, lots of, like, do you know, I'm not part of the youth today. My attention span's probably been affected. But I mean, we all do it, right? You stand in a queue or something, you have to wait like 30 seconds, boom, you get your phone out, have a quick look. Quick look at your phone. We're all bad. We're all bad. I think as long as they don't start pushing FPL Challenge more than FPL, then I'm okay with it. Because FPL is better. FPL is career mode. FPL Challenge is foot. I wouldn't say it. Well, foot's way more popular, so I wouldn't say that. Gabriel, Saliba, Zabani, Doughty, Taylor. Play which three? Zabani, Gabriel, and who have Burnley got? Oh, Chelsea. Saliba probably play double Arsenal. I'd only use your free transfer if it doesn't affect next week's moves too much. FPL Challenge is more involved on the weekend as you have to keep an eye on the starting teams and subs as necessary. But this is what I was saying earlier, right? Because it's set up as a casual game, I'm not going to bother checking that stuff. Like, I'm on Twitter a lot anyway, right? So I'll probably see it. And if I do, I will change my team if I remember. But I'm not going to be that bothered about it. Whereas if it was a bit more involved, like there was a season-long league and stuff like that, I'd probably be a bit more happy to check through the weekend. But I don't really see me doing it that much. Sam, I already answered that. No. Basically. Start Gabriel or Zabani. Zabani, I think, for me. My FPL Challenge team is 98 million. Isn't that ironic? I said this on the video. This was a terrible week to do unlimited budget. And also because of the general prices in FPL, you can make good teams for a lot less money. Like realistically, they need to make the FPL prices slightly better, so there's a bit more thought process needed for that. But yeah, I said that. I called that straight away. It was a terrible week to have unlimited budget. It just doesn't make sense. You don't look too excited by this game. I just don't look excited about anything. That's just me, really. That's just me. Just am who I am, you know. I mean, there's nothing for me to do. I've spent 2 weeks on an international break, and now I'm rolling. I'm ignoring FPL Challenge. Normal FPL is at the business end. A weird time to launch a new game. I think they just launched it in beta, so that beta. I say beta. Do I say beta? I think I do. It sounds weird when I say it though, because they want to launch it next season, so they want to get all the kinks out of it now, right? Sam, I've answered that question now a lot of times. Please stop spamming it. I think they set up the deadline like that so they can try and see if they can implement it in the real game. I don't think that's the case. I really hope it's not the case. Because I really don't want to see deadlines like that in FPL. I'm okay with the deadline moving if that's really what people want. Beta. I always say beta. I don't want multiple deadlines. I just don't want. I don't want to have to start moving subs during the weekend. I think I get why people want it, right? Because they want to be even more involved with the game they love. But the beauty of FPL is the simplicity. Yes, it's super frustrating when you bring someone in and suddenly they're not in the lineup. We never had that news, but it doesn't happen that often. I'd rather just have one deadline than it's done. But anyway, to go back to it, I think the reason that they've done the deadlines like that is so they can say, there's no deadlines, come and play our game. Even though there is technically a deadline, but it's just not the same as normal FPL. Proper FPL. Not going to call it normal. Start 2 of Foden, Saka and Morris. Ooh, I think I'd start Saka and Morris, Penalties. Son, Salah or Palmer, Captain Salah or Son, Salah. Start Doughty or Kirkes. Probably Doughty. Pickford or Dubravka on what? Because the thing with Kirkes is he might come on if he doesn't start. Pickford or Dubravka on wildcard. Can't afford Onana. I'll go Pickford because at some point Pope might be back. Do I get invited for the FPL show on YouTube from time to time? Yeah, I was on there a couple of weeks ago. Derek, thank you very much. You're only thinking for your content. Sorry, what are you on about? For FPL Challenge? No, I'm thinking I don't want to play it throughout the week. What's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with content? I'm not even sure if I'm going to do an FPL Challenge video. Salah and Garnacho for Foden and Son. No free hit 34, wildcard 35. So you're dead ending. I wouldn't sell Son for a hit, that's for sure. If it's for free, maybe, I guess. 2 free transfers, Menez and Salah for Haaland and Odegaard. I probably wouldn't do that, no. I think I would do that. No way do I have time for another FPL. It doesn't take long to set up a team, to be fair. It really doesn't. Like, if you're already playing FPL, you already know who's got the good fixtures this week. So you just pick 15 players and just submit. Like, there is prizes on offer. You might as well submit a team, right? And again, because there's no long-term punishment and stuff like that, you don't need to worry about it as much. Robertson replacement, no free hit 34. Bradley? No, I would go Van Dijk if you got the money. Obviously, Bradley enables a lot, but I wouldn't risk it longer term. The game needs some innovation. Simplicity is great, but the increase in fixtures and injuries is taking the enjoyment out of the game. Yeah, but what can FPL do about fixtures and injuries, you know? I really don't think FPL needs many changes. I think it's a case of don't fix what isn't broken or whatever the saying is. My team value is mad. I'm not sure it is. It's probably better than some people and worse than others. It's always the way. What would be my England starting 11 for the Euros? I don't think I've got the headspace for an England discussion right now because no one will ever agree. I do think, by the way, that actually the team is already pretty set. And I think Mainoo's going to start. And I think Foden will be on the left, but he'll come centrally. And I think England really need Luke Shaw to get fit because Chilwell was not very good over those 2 games. So you can kind of get an idea of what the rest of the team would look like from there, I think. Glyn, 21 months member, thank you very much. Son or Salah for captain? I would go for Salah, I think. A little bit of a differential. If Haaland and Gabriel is okay, shouldn't Solanke and Branthwaite also be okay? I'm not sure what you mean about being okay. Only for this week in isolation, Palmer or Richarlison. 100% Palmer, not even a shite. Slight question mark. Seamus isn't here. No, I people get very worked up about England. I just can't do it. People want you to say Maguire so they can get mad. Do you know what? Like to be honest with you, like would Maguire be in my ideal England 11? Probably not, but I also know he's going to be, so I just don't see the point in discussing it over and over and over and over. Should he be in? Why is he in? He's going to be in. I'm just going to get over it pretty quickly. Vardiol or Ain't Yuri on wildcard. Oh, no chips left. Oh, I'd probably just go Ain't Yuri for the short term and then maybe look to move him on later. Like, in theory, Vardiol could be great. Because Stones and Walker are out. Who knows how long they're going to be out for. Good fixtures coming up after Arsenal, double later on. But also, Man City defenders are just pure pain all the time. All the time. Play 2 of Walker, Saliba, Branthwaite, or Charlie Taylor. Who have Everton got? I should know this, shouldn't I? They've got someone from the Premier League. It's not Everton. I feel like I should know it because they've got someone... Oh, of course, Bournemouth away. Yeah, because I've got 2 Bournemouth defenders. I'd play... Well, Walker's out, isn't he? So, Saliba and Branthwaite, I think. I want a more intense FPL version, something that gives points for good football and not just events like goals and assists. Get some hype around the CDM. Okay, here's my thoughts on that, right? Which I've said many times before. people always say stuff like this. I want defensive midfielders to be options, okay? Now, there's a game like that called Sky Fantasy Football. Now, the rules are a little bit different. You only get a set number of transfers in the season. Once they're gone, right? So if you use all your transfers halfway through, you're screwed for the rest of the season. So there is a bit of a different strategy, and sometimes that maybe means there's more template players. But do you know what happens when players get points for being CDMs? The best players just change, and they become template instead. So you ask anyone at the start of next season, if Man City have got a great fixture run in Sky, who are they going to have? They're going to have Rodri instead of Foden. So and to be fair, Foden's actually done all right this year. But all it does is just changes who the best players are. So people have this, I don't know, thought process that, well, if we have points for CDMs, that means teams won't be as template. They will. You know what's going to happen as soon as people realise that Rodri's going to get loads of points every week? They're going to just buy Rodri. So I don't want points for CDMs, to be honest with you. I don't think it makes FPL better. I think it just changes who you pick. And I think watching Man City, hoping that Rodri gets a tackle rather than being a goal or something like that, nah, not for me. Not for me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a way to design it much better than that. But I just think give points to CDMs, that will make FPL better. I don't think it will, having played Sky. Maguire being in the side just re-emphasises how poor Southgate is. Come on, Southgate. I'd love Southgate just to stick it to everyone and win this year. Probably not going to happen. There's a chance. There's a chance. I seem annoyed this one. I feel like I'm not annoyed at all. This is just me. Sorry. I don't mean just CDMs. I mean give credit to players that don't typically get points. All this in addition to points for goals and such. Yeah, but again, the best players will always emerge. I don't think it makes FPL better. It just potentially changes who the best players are, right? That's all. But I could be wrong. I'm often wrong about a lot of stuff. I also need to take me headphones off. How insanely boring would it be watching a game and praying or hoping for a tackle? Well, to be honest, right, I can tell you because I've done it for Sky. I've tracked like FF stuff, I think it's called .co.uk. They track like tackles and stuff like that, and so I've seen my players close to tackle or passes, and I've watched them passing. Oh, okay, I only need 6 more. Done it. I'm that sad. That sad. Haven't done it very often, but I have done it. But I don't think it makes. I don't think. Oh God, how am I going to? Doing this live is not the time to do it on a deadline as well. I don't think it would make the game worse. I just don't necessarily think it makes the game better. That's my overall thought on it. Like Sky is not a bad game because players get points for tackles and passes, and therefore you watch the game hoping for that. That's not how it works. I just don't think it makes it better. That's all. And so I'd rather it didn't come in personally, but if they want to do it, do it. We can all adapt. Defense is Doughty, Gabriel, Zabani, Taylor, and Botman. Lascelles helps to get Salah and Darwin. And go with Gusto, Rate, and Yuri, but then Salah move is more difficult. Then go for Lascelles. I mean, I'd rather be able to get Salah and easier. Start Saka or Richarlison. I think I'd go Saka just for the start. Best FPL update would be only the best points counts when you're playing 11 and bet. No. What's the point in that? Then you're just picking. No, I don't like that at all. Then you're just taking away more decisions. I guess there's less variance maybe, but no, I don't like that. Don't like that suggestion. Play Bowen or Elanga. I'd be tempted to play Elanga, but probably Bowen. And Dubravka or Areola. Dubravka at home. Martin, 12-month member, thank you very much. What do you think of this wildcard? Kelleher, Raya. Well, straight away, I don't like it. You got 2 goalkeepers that are doubling in 34, and you're free hitting in 34. That doesn't make any sense. So I would drop one of them for a doubler in 37. Gusto Lascelles, 8 Nuri. Again, 8 Nuri, probably not needed if you're free hit 34. I think a bit longer term. Bradley, Udogi. Bradley's also a transfer out at some point. I don't mind it as a short-term punt, I guess. You could make the same case for 8 Nuri, I suppose. Salas on Palmer. Richarlison, yeah, is okay. Jackson, I wouldn't risk because he's on 9 yellow cards. One more, he's suspended for 2 games. Everyone else is okay. I'll do that one. On wildcard, midfield is Salah, Son, Palmer, Saka, Gordon. Start Gordon or Saka, Gordon. Forward starting line is Haaland, Darwin, Muniz. Nice. Would you not start Doughty over Gabriel, more attacking? I don't know if he's that much more attacking. And plus, I think Luton will concede more goals. Morris to Haaland or Gross to Son or both for a -4. Ooh. I would do both, I think. Without knowing the context of every other move you're going to do for the next few weeks. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just get both for -4. Sounds pretty good. Why no wildcard? I just don't think I need it that much. I mean, obviously my team would be better this week, but not by a huge amount, I don't think. I think it would mostly be the defence. Essentially, I think I'd be... Well, and Salah, I keep forgetting about him. I think, essentially, I'd be wildcarding to not play Gabriel, Zabani and Fernandes. I think every other player is fine. Like, if I had Garnacho on wildcard, I'd probably play him over Saka, but it's not reason enough alone to wildcard. Like, there's no... Like, for my team, it's just so easy. I dead end 34 on wildcard 35. There is no argument anyone can make to why I shouldn't do that. Why is Petrovic so popular? Good fixtures short term. 2 doubles after 34, sorry. Some of these are short term punts because I'll probably have the free transfers to deal with them. Yeah, if you think you got the free transfers, fair enough. Fair enough. Don't mind it. I mean, I would go through a planner and see how many times you're playing those defenders over the next few weeks. Because if you're benching, like if one of them's being benched most of the time, you can probably just sell for someone longer term. If Harden and Gabriel is okay, shouldn't Solanke and Branthwaite also be okay? Yeah, sure. It depends who you're benching, right? An exciting one, Gabriel, Doughty or Branthwaite. Ooh, that is exciting. Branthwaite for me. Wildcard 3 hit 34. I own Kelleher, Gabriel or Bradley for 2. Oh, I own Kelleher, Gabriel or Bradley for 2 games. I go Bradley in that case. If you're then going to sell afterwards. Have I thought about bench boost 34? You can get to 12 doublers without a hit. I've not thought about it for my team. I'm nowhere near well set up for that. But yes, it could work. Isak or Darwin on wildcard. Darwin. I think Darwin, no matter... yeah, free hit 34, you could make a case to go Isak, but I'd still go Darwin, I think. A lot of content creators focus only on their own team. It's an important discussion to talk about differentials like Richarlison and Maddison. Sure, ask a question about him. And we talked about Richarlison a lot. I literally talked about Richarlison on yesterday's video. Morris to Harden or Gross to Son or both for a -4. I think I already did that one. Like for me, that's pretty much a no-brainer -4. I mean, Gross is good, to be fair. So maybe not no-brainer, but I would definitely do it. Play Doughty or take a -4 for someone like Gusto. I'd probably just play Doughty. If you're a wildcard 33, hit 34, would you go Nunez or Solanke? I think I still go Nunez, but Solanke is definitely like you kind of know what you're getting. You know he's going to start. You know he's on penalties. Whereas with Nunez, he's probably going to start and he'll probably be fine. But he's also close to getting suspended because of yellow cards. That he's got to get 2. So he's got to avoid getting 2 in the next 4. I think there's a bit more risk with Darwin, but I do think if he plays the same minutes as Solanke or close to, he'll get pretty deep. He will beat him. Would be my guess. -4 Saka and Foden out. Son and Salah in. Oh, I'd probably just do Foden to Salah and keep Saka for next week. Oh, Son for Tavernier. Oh, I'll just probably get Son and get Salah next week if you can from -4. In Burma, worth a punt as a 5th midfielder. Start over Saka. Did he got minutes in the last game, didn't he? I wouldn't be massively confident about him playing from the start, so I probably wouldn't do it. Free hit 34, wildcard 35. Bring in Bradley or Aiton Yuri for Walker. I think with Aiton Yuri, he's got... Let me just double check here. Villa away, Burnley away, West Ham at home, Forest away. The thing is, I don't know if you're going to get game week 33 out of Bradley, whereas with Aiton Yuri, he's got 3 home games next 4, though. I think if you need to play them every week, Aiton Yuri. If you don't, and you can bench them most weeks, I'd probably go Bradley for the next 2. Pick 2 to play Saka, Foden, or Gordon. Gordon and Saka, I think, for me. I think I'll switch Kelleher to Petrovic and Jackson to Darwin. That sounds pretty good to me. For what it's worth, I actually like Jackson as a pick because of the fixtures Chelsea have got. I think on wildcard it's just too risky because of the yellow card situation. I mean, to be fair, if you've got 8 attackers, like good ones that you're happy to play most weeks, then you could take the risk on Jackson. I will probably, well, not probably, but there's a good chance I'll go with him on wildcard 35, I think. So I do like him. I'm just not sure it's the right time to bring him in. Nobody's talking about Rashford. I think he might come into form from now until the end of the season. Like, I don't hate Rashford as a pick, but it's quite hard to justify him over Fernandes, I think, when they're a similar price and Fernandes got penalties. Obviously, Garnacho is so cheap in comparison. Like that's the big problem. That's why no one's talking about Rashford. I think a potential update for FPL is bring back the all-out attack chip and the new ones whilst keeping the current ones, but you got to select your chips at the start. I kind of get it. But honestly, no one would pick the all-out attack chip. Like, they would just pick wildcard free hit. That would make absolutely the most sense. I think you would need to make the other chips a bit more similar to, like, maybe say, like, oh, you've got to have wildcard and free hit. Pick a couple of other ones. I just don't know if they need... Again, does that make FPL better? Like, having to select your chips at the start of the season? Because if you get it wrong, it's going to feel really bad later on. Whereas at least if everyone's got the same ones, it's a even playing field. But for FPL Challenge, if the top scorers have the exact same team, how are the winner prizes sorted? I actually don't know. I'd have to read the rules. I'm not sure. Have a quick look now. Someone probably knows already. It's probably just a draw. Probably just like random draw. But I could be wrong. I can't find it now. Someone probably knows already. Let me know in the chat. And I have 8 good attackers, but also means no Petrovic. Combination of Petrovic and Darwin sounds better than Kelleher and Jackson. I completely agree. Completely agree. FPL's not broken. Don't fix it. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm not against changes to FPL. I just think there's a lot of stuff people think will make it better that won't necessarily. Start 2, De Bruyne, Havertz, Saka, Gabriel, or Aiton Yuri. I mean, if you've got De Bruyne, I'd be tempted to play him. There's got to be a good chance he starts. It's not guaranteed because no, he's going to start, isn't he? This is like Saka. I'd be tempted to go Saka and De Bruyne as a differential, if not Saka and Havertz. Like Eshipinian, Doherty, or Tyler. Who's Tyler? I feel like I should know. I feel like I should definitely know who this is, but I'm actually not sure. Why can't I think? Tyler. Is it someone else? Who am I missing? Who's this player? I could just... Do you know what? I could just search. Oh, it's Taylor, isn't it? It's supposed to be Taylor. Yeah. My bad. Sometimes people say a name and I think, am I just being really stupid? I just don't know who that is. I mean, Taylor's away to Chelsea. I'd probably risk... God, Eshipinian's away to Liverpool. I forgot about that. Doherty probably won't even play. Eshipinian. Pick 2 to play. I did that one. Would I bring in Anthony Robinson on wildcard? I don't think so. Like, no doubles. The fixtures are okay in the short term, but I don't think they're massively better than other players that are more beneficial to you later on. I don't think he's terrible, that's for sure. But three away games next 4. Liverpool at home 34, Man City at home 37. I don't think he's. I don't know. He could be okay as a very short term pump. Why are people going Mateta over Semenyo? For some people, it's going to be because they already have 3 Bournemouth players. So that's why I've not even thought about him for my own team. But in isolation, Semenyo is just as good, if not maybe slightly better as well. By the way, slightly different question to FPL. Have we got any Leicester fans in the chat? What is going on? Like, I'll be honest, I don't follow the Championship massively, but I thought Leicester were cruising it. Now I see they're in 3rd place. They do have a game in hand, though. If they win that, they'd be top again. But honestly, what's happened? Ipswich now top. Number of transfers made decides the winner if points. But not in FPL Challenge, right? Well, does it? Maybe it does. Yogesh says that I've missed the super chat. Is that true? That is true. That's weird. I don't think. Yeah, anyway. Haaland, Gross to Salah, Darwin -4 and bench Foden. Look, if you're not going to have a better way to get Salah next week, then I would probably do that. But if it's a bit like for my team, for example, if I sell Haaland this week, it doesn't really improve my team, I don't think, for next week. And I can just get Salah in a different way. So I think if you've got a different way to do it that might be better long term, I would just wait. But otherwise, yeah, I don't mind that. Haaland, Gross to Salah, Darwin. God, people are going to go. There's going to be people. I'm not saying you, but there's going to be people that buy Darwin this week because of all the hype who don't understand. Christ, don't understand how frustrating he can be. And he's going to blank and get a yellow card and be one yellow card away from suspension, and people are going to hate him. Yeah, I think I'd do it. Tom, member for. Oh, do I think Richarlison will start? If I had to put my money on it. I don't know. Yesterday, I think I said I'm like 60-40 in favour of him starting, but I think I'm the other way now. I think it's less likely he starts. So I would leave it at that. I probably wouldn't put much money on it, put it that way. It's definitely possible, but I just don't think they need to risk it if he has had like a slight knock and he hasn't played any football over the break and stuff like that. Have I any suggestions for FPL Challenge for the remaining weeks? Like next week is double points for forwards. Yeah, spend most of your money on forwards. I mean, forwards aren't that expensive. But yeah, obviously your 3, like you shouldn't, essentially next week you shouldn't compromise on forwards, right? Like it's very obvious to pick, like you're not playing 3-5-2 next week. So you're playing 3-4-3, you pick the best 3 forwards that week and then you build backwards from there. Like Darwin, Sheffield United at home, like he'll definitely be in for me. Arsenal, I suspect Haaland would definitely be in against Villa. And then you got one more. So Isak against Everton, Solanke against Palace, someone like that. Chris Wood against Fulham, Muniz against Forest. Doughty to Gusto for a -4 and starting for Gabriel. I probably wouldn't do that, but I don't mind it. Gusto's definitely getting a clean sheet and an assist now, and I can tell it already. Wonder if Harry gets £1 for every mention of Trippier. Is he mentioning Trippier a lot? The route for 3 Liverpool might be 2 defence and Salah. Yeah, it could work. That could work out better for some people, but I think buying 2 defenders for Liverpool is quite tricky right now. Play Petrovic, Kelleher. I would play Petrovic this week. Why play Saka over Foden when Foden's at home? Just penalties. You're messaging from Weston. Where are you right now in Weston? Are you on the seafront? On wildcard, do you prefer Van Dijk, Gordon and Muniz, or Bradley, Garnacho and Isak? I think Van Dijk, Gordon and Muniz is probably slightly safer for overall picks. I just long term, I don't think I would want Bradley. If you've got a way to turn Bradley into someone else later, then I would definitely go Bradley, Garnacho, Isak. If you're going to get stuck with Bradley, I'm not so sure it's a good move. How long is Alisson out for? We don't know. Why does your stream go blurry? It's fine when I stream other people, but I only have issues with yours. No idea. Shouldn't do that. Not. I don't know. There's nothing I can. There's nothing I can advise there. Really, refresh. Make sure you check the what resolution it's set to, stuff like that. Like generally, there's not a huge amount of complaints, so I'm not sure there's an issue on my end. There shouldn't be anyway. Need a cheap striker to shoehorn Salah and Son and have to sell Solanke to do it. Oof. My advice would be to not do that. I wouldn't go for Werner, definitely not. I wouldn't go for Alvarez. I'd probably go really cheap. Mateta, Semenyo, Menez or something like that. Dubravka, Gabriel, Bradley, Moreno, Palmer on bench. No free hit. Would you -8? AM, 8 Nuri, Watkins. Who's AM on Moreno to 8 Nuri? Watkins to Darwin. No, I wouldn't do Watkins to Darwin. De Bruyne to Salah or wild. Oh, I'd wildcard. Yeah, I wouldn't be taking -8 so you got your wildcard. Oh, you got no free hit though. I think I still probably. How many doublers have you got for 34? Gabriel, potentially Bradley. I think you wildcard, right? That feels a bit like a wildcard team. I wouldn't do Watkins to Darwin for a hit. You could just take a -4. I wouldn't do Watkins to Darwin for a -4. I don't think. Did Foden and Doughty to Salah and Richards for -4? Thinking of benching Gabriel, confused who to play between Zabani and Richards. I'd probably play Zabani. I would play both of them over Gabriel, though. I'd play both of them over Gabriel. I think Zabani just because he's at home. How bad will it be going without Salah till game week 33? We'll see, but I think two of their best fixtures are like right now, right? 30 and 31. Just landed in Portugal and it's chucking it down. How's it back home in Goa? It's quite sunny this morning. It's still cold, but it was sunny. That was nice. I'm on. Oh, you're actually on Western Seafront. Did the park run now chilling. Nice, nice. Bradley can go in 32. Okay, then. Oh, if you do Saka to Foden. With free hit 34, that might not be so bad. How long have we got left? Just under half an hour till the deadline. Make sure to get your stuff locked in. Give the stream a like if you're enjoying it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. There's no early team news that I've seen so far, by the way. You can buy update. You can buy wildcard or free hit for 5 million of your budget. I think that'd be madness to buy that. Again, does that make FPL better? Probably not. 5 million is way too much, by the way. No one should do that. Although with the prices at the moment, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Out of my strikers, who would I captain? Watkins, probably. To be honest, I suspect if I had to, like if you forced me to do it, I'd probably go Haaland. But I'd like to think I'd go Watkins. I'd probably go Haaland. What is your opinion on Semenyo? I think he is arguably the best enabler with double game week 34 in mind. For forwards. Andrew, new member, thank you very much. GC, just want to say thanks for doing what you do. It takes a lot more time and effort than people think. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's a bit quicker. What is your opinion of United looking at managers that don't get involved in signings? De Zerbi, Potter. Oh, God. I don't know if we've got enough time to discuss Man United, so let me try and keep it brief. I think the right decision might be to keep Ten Hag. I'm a bit worried about that. I'm actually a bit surprised how positive a lot of people are about Ten Hag. I don't want to sack him. I don't want him to be sacked. I'd like to be given another season, I guess, under the new structure or whatever. But I would be very worried about Man United's numbers this year. Like I looked at expected goals is not everything, right? It definitely isn't. And And Man United might end up getting a Champions League place for 5th. I doubt it, but it's possible, I guess. They might win the FA Cup, probably not. But yeah, this is the interesting thing, right? So he's got the best win rate of all the past matches. Is that true? All of them? I know he's high up there, but Man United right now, they sit 12th. 12th best attack in the league for generating expected goals, and the 16th best attack. 16th out of 20 teams Man United are defensively. That is a worry, I think. Can that get better? I would hate to be around if it gets worse. And look, that's not everything. I get it. Is Ten Hag a better manager than that? Absolutely, right? But yeah, they saw Southgate. That's why they're positive about Ten Hag. That could be true. Yeah, the grass is not always greener. That's for sure. But I am worried. Start 2 of Raya, Gabriel, Neto, or Zabani. Well, Neto and Zabani, I think. Yeah, Neto, definitely home games. He has to deal with a lot of key injuries. There's lots of injuries for lots of teams, though. I think. I don't think the injuries are enough to. The injuries are not enough to say Man United are a 16th best defense in the league. That's terrible. Most hits you take to have Salah and Son. Well, -4 each, I guess. Right. It depends on your set. I don't think -8s and stuff and above really should be done for that. You only need to captain one of them anyway. Why not wildcard now? Everyone's team will be the same in 34, 37. It won't be. There is absolutely no need for me to wildcard now. I dead end my team. I have 10 or 11 double game week players in 34. Then I wildcard out of it and have up to 15 double game weekers in 35. I mean, that was... trying not to mention it, but that was the good thing about free hit 29 is it meant that I could come back to a team, especially in attack, that was pretty good in the short term. Like I said this weeks ago, right? Everyone's going to wildcard. They're going to want Son and Saka and Salah, etc. And I've got most of them. I don't have Salah. I get it. I'm hoping that short term pain this week will be long term gain, basically. How many points would Zabani need to get a place on the wall? Oof, good question. I don't know, get double digit, we'll talk. Double digit and we'll talk about it. Am I not worried about going without Salah? Yes. But you can't have everyone all the time. And again, I think it's better for my team in the long run to not buy him this week. Am I going to make an FPL Challenge League? Yes. Already done it. Let me just spam it a bit more if you want to join. If you've got a high rank going into the end of the season, would you go for a differential or two to see how high you can finish, or go safe to maintain rank? I mean, I'm not trying to sit on the fence here, but it really depends what rank I'm at and how big the differential is, right? Like, I don't know. Let's just say that I had, I don't know, this week, for example, you know, Is the differential move to captain Watkins over Son? Like, let's just say this was game week 38. Would I do that to try and get from 6k to top 5k? Yeah, possibly. And people who've watched these videos for ages will have heard this story a million times. Differentials don't always work. Like, I've got I can't remember exactly which years, but there's 3 seasons that always spring to mind. 2 where I didn't go for the differential in Mane, right? I can't remember if it was just transferring him or captaining him, but in 2 seasons I didn't go for the differential and I missed out on just getting inside the rank that I was aiming for. But 1 or 2 seasons ago, I went for the obvious transfer that everyone, or the captaincy that everyone else was doing, and that was to get Son captain for Norwich at home last day of the season, and I finished just inside the top 10k, and that was a pure safe template, whatever you want to call it, move, and that's what works. So differentials don't always work. So it really depends where I am and how much I'm chasing, and how differential am I just being differential for the sake of it, I guess, or is it actually a good option that has low ownership for some reason? So the answer is, it's a long way of saying it depends. It depends. We'll see. Let me go back here. Start Petrovic or Keller. Yeah, I did Petrovic, I think. Is it worth a bench boost if Gabriel and Saka are POS injured? Now I'm confused. I wouldn't be bench boosting with even if Saka and Gabriel were fit, unless I'm missing something. Trippier question mark. If you've got the money, maybe you could risk it. Yeah, I think people on Wildcard 35 will buy Trippier because they'll probably drop Salah and they'll have the money to do it. I think now it's quite tricky to have Trippier. Bench Sarabia or Saka. I think I'd play Sarabia if I had him. It's Villa away. Would I? I think I probably would. Just about, maybe? Yeah. It's close, though. I'd probably go Sarabia. If you're willing to take that risk. Any leaked info? Not that I've seen. I mean, it's Newcastle West Ham, so I guess we're not going to get a huge amount. Some people might be waiting on Trippier, to be fair. Trippier's been a bit of a trap. Hasn't lived up to the price tag when I've owned him. Yeah, but he went through that phase of being absolutely ridiculous, didn't he? From about game week 5 or 6 onwards, and then he's been terrible since. Which, to be fair, I've kind of enjoyed, because at the time when some of us sold Trippier, some people made out like it was the worst decision you'll ever make. And he was just awful after that. But I think he will come good again because of the fixtures. Oh, they will bench boost if Gabriel and Saka are confirmed fit. It just seems like a terrible bench boost to me. Either way. Gordon to Joe Willock for funds. Don't think so. I'd rather just go down to Garnacho or someone like that. I think. I own Sarabia and Saka. I'm definitely starting Saka. Yeah, I guess they are missing a bunch of players. Cunha could be back. Sarabia on penalties as well, though. I think it's more than fair to just start Saka. That's for sure. What do you say about Gusto? I think he's a good option. Start Richarlison or Foden. I'd probably go Foden and just play it safe with the start. Pagoda, 17 months member, thank you very much. Wildcard 33, hit 34, bench boost 37. Kelleher and Van Dijk looks good. I wouldn't go Kelleher if I was free hitting 34, I don't think. Van Dijk's not bad. I think if you free hit 34, I'd probably want to go for 2 goalkeepers that play in 37 for the bench boost. So probably like Petrovic and Onana. Or Petrovic and Edison, something like that. Any thoughts on starting Mikalenko over Ake? Yeah, I probably would do that, to be honest. I mean, obviously, Ake's at home, I guess. Mikalenko's away, but I would just go for the fixture, I think. Is Gibbs White a good shout on wildcard? I don't think so. I think Gibbs White time in our teams is pretty much done. Like, Forest's next couple of fixtures are okay, short term. Like, single game week fixtures, sorry. Palace at home, Fulham at home. But after that, there is some okay fixtures Forest have, like from now until the end of the season. Like, last day is Burnley away, 36 is Sheffield United away. But I don't think he's worth a spot in our midfield, basically. There's 5 on midfielders I definitely want. I'll donate to Charity Mind running the marathon for next week. Very nice. Mio mates have raised 10k. Ooh, decent. Got to run the damn thing. Fair play running a marathon. That is a long way. I think the most I've ever walked is like 16, 17 kilometers, I think. Something like that. Marathon, man. And that was walking, by the way, not running. I don't think I could mentally do it. Like, I have to run for that long. Let alone the physical problems. If Sarabia outscores Saka, I'll chuck an extra 50 quid. Come on, Sarabia. Salah's on captain feels like Luton concedes a lot. They do, yeah. I think Son's fine. I would probably go Salah. I think he'll be slightly less owned. I think it's a nice differential play. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with Son. If you want to go for him, go for him. Who does? Hang on. Sorry, I'm getting distracted looking at. Oh yeah. Listening to FPL pods while running is the answer, but still, like, you need a lot of FPL pods for a marathon. Actually, yeah, you would. Well, it depends what kind of runner you are. I guess some people can do it in like 2-3 hours. You wouldn't need that many podcasts. Although 2 hours is like like proper. I don't think that's been done very often, right? Your average person, I guess, is more like what 3-4 hours maybe, or slower. I don't know. Yeah, when I said 2 hours, I've suddenly realised that's like, isn't that like the world record? I guess most people aren't doing that. Stood in the, let's say 3-4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. Stood in the queue for the post office. It's nearly out the door. Nightmare. At least you're watching this, I guess. Tony to Darwin -4, probably not. No. Who's winning the Premier League? Probably City. Playing Bradley for Gabriel Zabani. Gabriel, definitely. Yeah. Look, I got the world record thing wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not expecting everyone to be running marathons at 2 hours. 4 hours, fair play. I think if you can just finish a marathon, I already respect you a lot. Is Suit coming out on the last day? Probably not. Is my wildcard plan 34? No, it's 35. Your opinion on Palmer as a captain? Good option. Is he better than Salah or Son? I don't think so. I think both of those players have got higher goal threat for me. That would be it. Could Palmer do really well against Burnley? Absolutely. Play Gordon or Havertz? Oof, Gordon. Someone's just said Ten Hag sacked. I don't know why they've just said that. Be a weird day to do it. One marathon equals one episode of FPL Black Box. It's probably about right, yeah. How disappointed would I be about not cracking the top 10k after such a solid season? I think it really depends on where I'm at kind of last couple of game weeks, because like I'm 26k now, and I think that's pretty good, to be honest, considering the amount of players and stuff. But that can quickly change. All it takes is a couple of bad game weeks and suddenly I'm outside the top 50k, top 100k, and then top 10k is further back, and so I'd be less worried about missing out on it. But if I was like 11k going into game week 37 and I missed out on it, that would be a bit more annoying. If I didn't have 3 Arsenal players already set, would you consider 2 Arsenal in attack? Yes. Yeah. I don't think, apart from Luton at home, I don't think Arsenal defence is going to be that great anyway, necessarily. Bradley or Gusto, dead end 34, wildcard 35. Gusto, I think. Yeah, like I don't know. Like there is a world maybe where Bradley's a good option for 34, but yeah, maybe Bradley for the next 2 and then reassess. Reece James, I just don't see him being back by 34 at all. So at least you get Gusto the whole way through. But it's Arsenal away in 34 anyway. Gordon or Garnacho. I think Gordon is probably the better FPL pick, but I do like Garnacho's price. And I think if I was wildcarding now, I think I'd be more likely to end up on Garnacho. Eze or Garnacho for Hwang. Eze, I think, if you're not wildcarding 35. No chips left. What would be your plan? Again, I've talked about this a few times this week. It's just basically balance, right? You still want to go for double game week players, but you don't want to completely kill your team for other game weeks. So the priority is really Liverpool players this week, Arsenal next week, and then just go from there. But basically, I think you've got no chips. You're just having less double game week players. I missed a super chat about Foden. Is that true? Is that true, Lars? Oh, why Saka over Foden when Foden plays at home? Penalties. I've answered that a lot this stream. That's basically it. Thoughts on Robinson away to Sheffield United on a 1 week punt over Gusto? I'd go Gusto. The home fixture, honestly. Chelsea better defence, I would say too. I don't think there's anything wrong with Robinson if you want to do it, but I'd rather have Gusto. Thanks for the 7 months, by the way. Would you play Douglas Luiz or Gordon? Gordon. Watkins and Richarlison, presumably, to Salah and Meniz. Because Richarlison's a little bit of a doubt to start, I don't mind that as much as maybe other moves to get rid of Watkins. Start 2 out of Foden, Saka, and Richarlison. Foden and Saka probably. I just realised I'm still listening to Phoenix. That means I've been listening to it for nearly 2 hours. Maybe that's why I've got a headache. Or maybe it's because I've been staring at a screen for 2 hours. If you don't wear a suit, it's bad luck for next season. We'll see. Play double Arsenal defence or 1 and Estepinian. I think... Oh, Liverpool away. I keep forgetting who Brighton have got. I think if this was last season, I would definitely play Estepinian. But is he definitely going to start? He could just come on for a 1-pointer. I think in that case, maybe I'd just play double Arsenal. Josip, 30 months member. Thank you very much. I've missed another super chat apparently. Let's see. Nope, didn't miss that one. Darwin or Isak? Darwin for me, I think. I think the only way I'd go Isak is maybe on free hit 34 if you really don't want to book in too many transfers. But I do think Darwin's better short term. No Newcastle news that I've seen. Nope. What are people waiting for? Trippier and Gordon news, is it? I mean, Gordon will start, won't he? But imagine after all this if Gabriel and Saka are actually benched. That'd be amazing. I've been so confident they're going to play. I love Phoenix. If I'm catching up on a live stream, I always listen all the way through the music. I like it as well, but I don't need it 2 hours on repeat. You suddenly like it's because you like tune out to it when you're streaming. Or I do like having music while I'm streaming because I can't hear myself as much. Because otherwise, if I'm just like this, it's like in a bit of an echoey room. I'm just more. It's not even that I can hear myself more. It's like I'm more aware of everything around me. Whereas with music in, it's easier to kind of focus. You do zone out, but then after a while, I think, Christ, I have just listened to this for nearly 2 hours. Would you take a -8 for Watkins? No, I don't know. Foden, Dallo out for Nunez, Salah, Gusto. Or Son in for Foden for free, but can only afford Salah or Son, not both. Can you not get Salah for a -4 next week? Because I would do that. If you can do Son in this week for free and then get Salah for a -4 next week, I'd do that. I wouldn't take a -8. I'd rather just wait till next week, I think. If penalties are so important, would you start Douglas Luiz over Bowen? But like... The difference between the thing with Saka and Foden is they're quite close from open play, I would say, as options, whereas Douglas Luiz and Bowen aren't really. I maybe would start Douglas Luiz, given he's at home as well. I'm not going to go through a wildcard 30 draft right now, but if you want to watch you got 7 minutes to go and check the video I made on it if you want. Alex, 17-month member, thank you very much. Starting Foden over Saka just for the differential sake, nice. Yeah, go for it. Saka pens Foden at home. Yeah, we've been through this like about 100 times on this stream, I think. Who would I play if Saka had no penalties? Foden. Foden is at home, yeah, but he's got no penalties. Douglas Luiz is at home and has the penalties. Again, like if you want to play Foden, just play Foden. It's like I think it's fine, perfectly fine to do that. Raya or Areola? West Ham away. Raya away. I'd probably go Areola, I think.
I feel like there's 2 questions I've answered the most this stream. When am I wildcarding? And why Saka over Foden? Is there any other question that's come up that much times? Well, there's probably another question I'm missing. What other questions come up a lot? Gusto for a -4? Salah for a -4? You wanna see now? Foden is a really good option, generally. The funny thing is, I've had Foden since game week 22. I benched him in 28. I free hit him out in 29. I'm benching him in 30, and I'm probably going to sell him in 31. So for 4 game weeks, I won't have actually 4 weeks of owning him. I won't have actually played him at all. I also benched him for his hat trick, which is not fun. What about FPL Challenge Team? Yeah, right here. Boom. But you don't have to lock that in on the deadline, so you can make changes afterwards. I'll probably just get rid of Chilwell in a minute. That's the Challenge Team. As it stands, might change it afterwards. Who knows? What do you reckon will be Saka and Foden's effective ownership around our rank? 80 versus 60. Maybe a little bit lower than that, but yeah, maybe a 20-30% difference. I can't remember what they were last week, though. Foden might be even lower than that. You've got to remember people are wildcarding this week as well, so they might have dropped one or the other or both. Start double Arsenal defence or Doughty. I can see... I can kind of see reasons to go for Doughty because he is quite attacking, but probably more so than Saliba. But I just worry about the goals they might concede in a fixture like that. I think it's fine if you want to split the risk or hedge or however you want to call it and go for one Arsenal, one Doughty, and Doughty. But I've got Saliba ahead of Doughty on the bench. So if one of my defenders misses out, Saliba's coming in. I'm kind of okay with that. Maybe this is one of those decisions that I look back on and think, well, yeah, why didn't you go for the more attacking defender? Less than 5 minutes on the deadline, so start getting your decisions locked in. Start Louise over Saka or Foden. Foden, probably. Why Foden over Saka? Why Saka over Foden? Great question. Great question. God, I hope Arsenal get a penalty now. Saka scores. Ray or Areola and got Raya for me. Son's on penalties, yeah. I think he's had 1, is it, this season? Could be wrong. What editing software do I use? I use the editing software that all video editors that are proper pro use. Like anyone you ask who's doing like Mr. Beast editors, you know, people working on the BBC, I use the same one as all of them, and that is Sony Vegas. Horrible decision playing Saka. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Gordon or Foden? Gordon. According to the FPL rules, we can still change the player after the deadline. On FPL Challenge, you can, yeah. Any last-minute leaks in my DMs? Probably not. It's Newcastle West Ham, so nope. Random question, but what shade of green would a wall need to be painted for a green screen? I actually don't think it necessarily matters, but it's quite a bright. It's not a... I haven't got it painted. It's... I don't know. You can probably Google it. I'm not sure what shade it is, but quite a bright green. I think you could potentially key out any colour. Just some colours probably work better. Does anyone know when I'm wildcarding? I don't think so. 10 home games for me this week. Gargantuan green arrow loading. Yeah, when you say things like that, it never happens. It feels like I said that. I'm sure. I think I said something like, "Surely I'm getting over 100 points," and that was when when Liverpool and Man City doubled, and like it was terrible, absolutely terrible. You should always play elite players even in tough fixtures. They may not haul, but they're elite for a reason. Yeah, that's why I'm playing Saka. Some content creators might consider extending their deadline stream if Fantasy Challenge takes off. Yeah. Quite possibly. But there's no limit then. So when do you stop the deadline stream? I guess you could do 15, 20 minutes chat on it. I'm happy to talk about it for 5-10 minutes, but I don't see me starting. I don't see me doing a whole another hour. That's for sure. I'm sure some people will do that though. Yeah, I'm sure some people will stick around and talk about FPL challenge. I think for me, it will just depend on what I'm doing. Like, have I got plans? Do I need to rush straight out and do something? Like today, bit more chilled. Bit more chilled. This is what I wanna do. Whoa. After last game, if I don't have a very high bar of points expectations, yeah, me too. The deadline's nearly here. I should really double check everything. I got 30 seconds till the deadline, by the way. 30 seconds. So points, pick team. So who's my vice captain? Palmer, of course. Saka being played over Foden. Job done. Maybe I should play Saliba. No, I'm sticking to it. Please don't sing. Nope. Talk to the line that's come out. Nah. You're getting number 1 in the world on FPL Challenge this week. Well, you can't do that if I'm getting number 1. I might change. In fact, in my FPL Challenge team, I might change Chilwell to Gusto. No retriever mention. I'm not sure what you mean. Boom, we're locked in. Happy days. Job done. Good luck. I'll be back tomorrow. Before you all rush off, make sure to give it a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Muchos appreciated. Bradley, give over. You can't come out with news like that straight after the deadline. You have got me looking it up on Twitter. I don't see anything about that. Why Saka over Foden? Why? Why indeed? Okay, so my FPL Challenge team is here. How small do I have to make this to... Oh, yeah. So I'm actually going to sell Chilwell because who cares, right? Maybe I should play Gusto instead of Robinson. Something like that. I'm going to go for Luis Diaz. This is what I mean about, like, you don't have to put much thought into it. I can just, okay, yeah, I'll just do that instead. Why not? The FPL Challenge code, I'll just put it in the chat here. If you want to join the league. All right, let's stop with the rubbish now. Catch that, Nick. I think that's it for my challenge team. Something like that. Although maybe I should play Madison. Maybe I should play Madison instead of Foden. Something like that. FPL Challenge is too much straight after a deadline. Yeah, but I've already thought about. I've already put it together before now. I'm just talking about it now because the deadline's gone. There we go. Three Liverpool attackers, 2 Spurs, 2 Chelsea, 1 Chelsea defender, 2 Spurs, or 2 Chelsea defenders if you include Petrovic. Yeah, and his All-Stars, terrible name. I should have to think quick. Leave all Liverpool on the bench, best tactic. I can't bother with that, honestly. Well, actually, No, doesn't that tactic only work if you're going to do auto subs or something? Pick everyone who let us all down on the free hit. Yeah, that's probably right. You're not doing the loot poll. I can't be bothered with any of that stuff, honestly. I can't take it that serious. Oh, I actually need to. I need to have a look at my Sky team and just quickly set my captains. I've got to make. Oh, I've got to make a few transfers this week. Oh, okay, captain today is probably going to be Son, right? Oh yes, definitely Son. Okay, well that was easy. Job done. Worry about the rest later. I'm 69th in Sky. Can I come first? No, probably not. There's some kind of loophole that you can like start players that have got injuries, and then if your players on the bench do really well, you just leave them to auto sub, and if they don't, you transfer the injured players out for someone else, something like that. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to it. Anyway, I'm off. Thanks for watching. That may or may not be my FPL challenge team by the deadline. We'll have to wait and see. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you tomorrow for the knee jerk stream. Around 8 o'clock probably. Yeah, 6:30 Man City Arsenal stream after that. Happy days. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will catch you later on. See you later.